89th edition of Marex Maritime News.
Maritime institutes to resume offline training. What a relief for Indian ship manning industry and Indian seafarers to learn that effective 22nd October 2021, the Directorate General of Shipping has permitted maritime training institutes to resume working offline after a period of almost 19 months.
I'm really very happy to see circular number 32 of 2021, and on 22nd of October I was glad to have these 4 papers. ये यहाँ पर 4 पन्ने हैं एंड इसमें अमिताभ सर का साइन देखा, बड़ी खुशी हुई क्योंकि MTIs कैन वर्क बैक टू नॉर्मल, डिपेंड्स अपॉन द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेशंस. और अगर उसको नटशेल में मैं बोलूँ तो प्री सी ट्रेनिंग जो कैडेट्स हैं, जीपी रेटिंग है, सलून है, टीएमई है, जीएमई है, ईटीओ है, जो अपने ये 6 प्रकार के कोर्सेज हैं, all these guys can be there in the institute 100% provided they have done double dose of vaccination, and of course there are some quarantine requirements. Having said that, it is good that the training is going to get back to normal for the young freshers. Secondly, for the post C courses, another good thing that 50% strength has been allowed for practicals and 100% for simulators. As far as certificate of competency courses are concerned, what I understand from the circular, कि भैया it is going to remain online, which is probably good news for some. And of course, if you want to attend college and all that, it depends upon the college. Examination pattern is still going to remain the same. So there will be online exit exam and certificates will be there for 5 years after you have done the course. Swimming pool, like what I understand, Shape, Panchkula or ARI and Noida and all that, some places, Kerala, swimming pools are open. So means you can do your course PSCRB with 5 years validity. थैंक यू सो मच डीजी शिपिंग. अमिताभ सर, आपके एक सिग्नेचर ने हमारे 4 लाख सीफेयर्स को खुश कर दिया. मैं आप सबका धन्यवाद करता हूँ. जय हिंद, जय भारत, जय नाविक.
The headlines on Monday, 25th of October 2021. Vista condemns horrific and flagrant assaults at sea. ISWAN wins Safety for Sea COVID-19 Resilience Award. Energy crunch prompts India to request Qatar for gas supplies. Global supply chain faces major bottlenecks. Hamburg Museum illustrates reefer shipping in a newly designed area. Export report on logistic markets. Earlier this week, Women's International Shipping and Trading Association (VISTA) USA issued a strong statement of support for Midshipman 10, the anonymous 19-year-old US Merchant Marine Academy Usma College student whose allegation of rape aboard the Maersk-operated ship Alliance Fairfax sent shockwaves throughout the industry. The International Seafarers Welfare and Assistance Network ISWAN has bagged the 2020 Safety for Sea Award on Tuesday, 19th October for their work during the pandemic. The awards recognize the industry's outstanding practices for safety excellence, sustainability, training, technology, initiative, COVID-19 resilience, personality, and leadership.
ISWAN has been bestowed with Safety for Sea COVID-19 Resilience Award at an event held on 19th of October. We are very thankful and grateful to Safety for Sea for recognizing the work of ISWAN. Since the pandemic has started, ISWAN has been approached by thousands of seafarers who are in need of essential support. We handled more than 40,000 seafarers across the globe, in which most of the seafarers who face unprecedented challenges ranging from that because of lockdown they could not return home, they had to extend their contracts on board for many months. They faced issues such as abandonment. A number of cases has risen in the last 1 year. If we look at the abandonment cases, the seafarers were facing a lot of ordeal because their families at home were in need of the seafarers to return home and to help them deal with the COVID-19 crisis at home. A number of seafarers were themselves infected by COVID and could not join ships. And there are a number of seafarers who are still at home and looking for job opportunities. Under these circumstances, ISWAN Seafarer Health Helpline were providing emotional support to the seafarers and their families, as well as the regional team in India and Philippines and Nigeria were looking after the seafarers and referring them for the practical support so that the issues can be resolved. In some of these cases, the seafarers faced issues such as their mortal remains could not repatriate from the ship because many of the countries felt that it's a COVID case and they did not allow the mortal remains to be offloaded from the vessel. The Iceland regional team worked with various Indian embassies to make sure that the remains also return home, as well as to also support a number of seafarers to board the Vande Bharat flight, and the seafarers were prioritized to board such flights. In some other cases, the seafarers were very worried because their pregnant wife was at home and do not have any means of any other support. The regional team worked with its partners to assist a number of seafarers and their families under these circumstances. In one of the cases, one of the pregnant wife who was on board could not arrange to repatriate home because of the lockdown. Iceland worked with its partner in Nigeria and assisted the family to return home in due time so that she can then deliver the baby at home in India. In some other cases, the seafarers were also very, very worried about because their fathers or their mother they were infected with COVID and were in hospital. The team was providing them the emotional support and also worked with various countries to arrange the seafarers' return home. In Manila, the team worked very closely with the various government departments and other welfare organizations to assist more than 2,000 seafarers who were stranded and arrange for their shelter and food. In such cases, the seafarers were also provided hardship funds ranging from $150 upwards so that they can look after some of the basic needs. All these efforts were put in by the Iceland team, not alone, but with the help of their partners and the funders who generously donated to Iceland. We are so grateful to all of our funders to keep believing in us and have a faith in Iceland. We also thank our seafarers for trusting in Iceland, and we really look forward to keep serving them in the years to come. Thank you so much to everyone for continuing their support to Iceland, and we will try our best to keep supporting our seafarers and their families.
As the global energy shortage continues, this has prompted India to ask Qatar, the world's biggest supplier of liquefied natural gas, for around 50 cargoes it deemed too expensive 6 years ago. This is on top of the approximately 115 cargoes that its long-term contract stipulates for 2022. We have requested Qatar to give us the pending 50 cargoes next year, Akshay Kumar Singh, Chief Executive Officer of Petronet, said on the sidelines of the CERAWeek India Energy Forum. Major bottlenecks have formed across the globe in recent months due to a surge in demand for retail goods from people stuck at home under pandemic-related lockdowns and logjams impacting the supply of container ships and boxes to transport cargo.
As we all know, there's been an acute shortage of containers and the shipping space for the last 8 to 10 months, which has hit the exports and imports very badly, which in turn has hit the global supply retail chain. And the essential goods, especially in the festive season for the New Year, Christmas and Diwali, they are all being hampered and are now being delayed by more than 30 to 40 days. And this leaves the importers, retailers, as well as the consumers worried. Let's look at the bigger picture. There are more than 300 ships waiting globally, mostly in the US, Far East, as well as in the Europe. The delay is 4 to 12 days. Then there are logistics delays once the cargo is discharged or for loading. And this translates to roughly total delay of 30 to 35 days. Normally a cargo which would reach the consumer within 10 to 12 days of having been discharged is now taking 35 to 40 days. And there's no space available. This has resulted in an increase in prices, and the consumers and users are hit badly. Even for the pandemic, it's not yet over, and essential supplies are also being hit. and it's a global concern. Let's see how it's going to be addressed. Tough times ahead.
As far as the global supply chain bottlenecks are concerned, let's first understand the reasons for the same. After the lifting of the lockdowns around May June 2020, there was a sudden increase in the demand of goods and merchandise from the US, Canada, UK, Europe, Australia, and some other countries, which resulted in a surge of containers arriving at the respective ports. This led to a severe congestion at ports and put pressure on trucking, rail, and inland supply chains. Port congestion created delays of about 7 to 14 days for berthing of container ships, thus causing bunching of vessels. This resulted in the blockage of about half of the fleet in ports or on water. More ships were therefore needed to cater to the demand, which the lines deployed by chartering whatever additional tonnage they could at substantially higher charter hire. The demand still remained more than the supply, and hence the substantial pressure on freight rates. As the lines struggled to get ships, a spate of new building orders for over 500 ships were placed with the shipyards. Due to this sudden flood of orders, coupled with shortage of labor due to COVID cases, the lead time for getting a new ship increased from 10 to over 16 months. Also, the costs of new vessels increased substantially. These new ships will now start getting inducted into the service only from the first or the second quarter of 2022 onwards. Similarly, production of new containers also has been impacted. The lead time has increased from about 3 or 4 months to approximately 8 or 9 months, and also the costs have increased substantially. These new containers have been slowly entering the service from the third quarter of 2021 onwards. How long is this situation likely to last? Well, the situation is likely to remain tight till larger sections of the global population get fully vaccinated, until new ships start hitting the waters from the first or the second quarter of 2022 onwards. Efforts in the meanwhile have been made by the shipping lines to ease the situation, both globally as well as in India. As far as India is concerned, several new services have been introduced this year. For instance, in the India-US East Coast trade lane, additional capacity to the tune of about 11 to 12,000 TEUs a week has been introduced. This includes new services introduced by MSC and the Endamax 2 service introduced by CMA and Hapag-Lloyd. Similarly, on the India-Europe trade lane, services have been restructured, which have increased the capacity by about 2,000 TEUs a week. These services include the IPAC service APIC 2 and EPIC 3. On the India-West Africa trade, MSC introduced a new service which resulted in an additional capacity of about 3,500 to 6,000 TEUs a week. In the India-Far East trade, lines such as Wanhai, Intra-Asia, KMTC, TS Line and Maersk introduced new services which increased the capacity by about 13,000 TEUs a week. Moreover, recently, PIL, RCL, CUL and IL have introduced the SIX service, that's the South China India Express, which has increased the capacity by another 2,000 TEUs. Empty containers have also been repositioned into the country by the shipping lines to help ease the situation. Just between January to August 2021, 1.2 million TEUs of empty containers have been repositioned into India. All this has helped in increasing Indian exports from 4.4 million TEUs between Jan and September 2019 to 4.07 million TEUs during the same period in 2020 to 4.99 million TEUs, that's almost 5 million TEUs from Jan to September 2021. Orders have also been placed for new ships and containers. Globally, orders have been placed for 3 million new containers and 570 new ships, deliveries of which are expected to be effected between the first and the second quarter of 2022 onwards. The shipping lines have therefore been doing all they can to ease the situation and will try their best to do so further.
The International Maritime Museum Hamburg is attracting visitors to a new exhibition area that explains everything about reefer shipping, transport of perishable goods, using the Hamburg Süd as an example. From the beginning of reefer shipping in 1877 to the present day, the entire spectrum of development is shown and vividly presented to visitors using ships and transport conditions. The most important cargoes transported in temperature controlled containers worldwide today are fruit and vegetables, meat, fish, seafood, dairy products, pharmaceuticals and flowers, with banana being the most important reefer cargo. Now our logistic market report direct from the expert.
This feedback is based on anecdotal evidence of feedback from industry leaders. The availability of containers and space has eased during the month, and it is expected to have the same trend in the coming month. Shipments to Europe and East Africa are relatively easy, except in case of some ports where the port itself has a congestion. Similarly, the situation on Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia has also eased both for availability and the booking position. However, for USA and Far East and West Africa, the customers have to plan for longer term bookings. The freight rates in the meanwhile have remained stable. They have neither increased nor decreased. Similarly, the cancellation charges or urgency premium has also remained stable. On operational front, now the traditional way of booking with lines, that is asking for quotation and booking, has opened up relatively better. Hence, the bookings are with long-term contract, traditional way of booking, online advance spot rate and advance premium rates for short-term bookings are all available. So there is little bit of ease in booking. If we talk to the seniors in shipping line, they say that the situation will continue until early 2023 or mid 2023, as that is when the ships and containers will be delivered in significant quantity. However, we had a feedback in May 2020 that situation will ease as soon as the Christmas rush is over, that is normally September-October shipments. However, the situations remain tough. It's a marginal but interesting trend that some cargo has started moving in break bulk vessels, particularly items like commodities like steel, sugar, grains, and other commodities which were moving by containerized vessel have now found solution in break bulk shipping by using chartered or tramp vessels. This may have had a marginal effect, but the customers are benefited. So on a whole, the booking has eased and the rates are still firm.
Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for watching. See you next Monday.